Sociologists and economists have found something shocking. Students who graduate from the same college go on to earn about the same amount, regardless of their class background. That is, kids who grow up rich and kids who grow up poor, who graduate from the same college, go on to earn about the same amount of money. And the same is true of kids who grew up with high school educated parents and kids whose parents graduated from college too. Now, the reason why this is so shocking is because there's so much inequality between students from different class backgrounds, including students at the same universities. So students from more advantaged class backgrounds tend to complete more internships, know more professionals, display more status symbols, and also know more about the professional labor market. So how do all of these inequalities turn into pay equality? To find out, I studied the mid-tier business labor market. This is a labor market for business majors who attend non-elite universities. And what I found for this labor market, and that's likely true for labor markets like it, is that pay equality arises because of hidden information about where and how students can get ahead, as well as class-neutral criteria that employers use when they're hiring. So let me tell you more about the hidden information first. So when students apply for jobs, they don't have much information about wages. It's rarely posted in job ads, and it's also rarely revealed in interviews. There are websites like Glassdoor that do tell students some information about wages, but students know that those numbers can be unreliable. And so they have to apply for jobs without knowing what any job pays, and then they have to decide whether or not to accept a job without knowing if they could earn more money for doing similar work at a different firm. And employers also don't tell students a lot about what they're looking for in applicants. They do share broad things, like that they're looking for applicants who have strong communication skills and strong teamwork skills. But they don't tell students what they mean by this, and they often mean very different things. So to some employers, strong communication skills means being really concise, and to others it means being long and detailed. Students can't do both at once, and they don't know which one the person they're talking to values. Now, students do turn to their connections for help, especially students from class advantage backgrounds. But their connections also don't have information about where and how they can get ahead, and so they're not as useful as we think. They tell students to prepare for interview questions that are never asked, and they give them advice about how to answer questions, but those answers are different than the ones that the evaluators prefer. And of course, some of the students' connections, especially class advantage students, their connections can get them jobs directly, regardless of how the interview goes. But because those connections also don't know if the job pays a little or a lot for jobs like it, they're just as likely to usher students into low-paying jobs as high-paying ones. And so students from all class backgrounds and their connections have to guess where and how to get ahead. In addition, in the labor market I studied, and likely some others too, employers use class-neutral hiring criteria. So for example, students from more advantaged class backgrounds tend to complete more internships. But the employers I talked to sometimes treated work experience as the same as internship experience, or they treated 3 internships as equivalent to having 1. And they usually didn't care where students interned, whether it was with a prestigious firm that we've all heard of, or a firm that nobody's ever heard of, a new one, a startup. As long as the student could demonstrate that they learned some valuable skills, it didn't matter where they interned or where they worked. In addition, employers didn't care where students developed their skills outside of internships or work experience. So if it was through an exclusive and expensive skiing club, working at McDonald's, or even in a course project, it didn't matter to them as long as they had the right skills. And employers also told me that they rarely negotiated with new college students over pay. And when they did, it wasn't over very much money. And so hidden information meant that students from all class backgrounds had to guess where and how to get ahead. And because of the class-neutral criteria that employers used, their guesses had the same chance of paying off. In this way, luck, not class, determines students' pay.